The pounding on my front door was so loud it shook the hallway. I opened it and 3 HOA cops, yes, the same wannabe officers Karen always sent, were standing there with their hands on their belts like they were about to arrest someone. The tallest one stepped forward and said, "Sir, we got reports that you are violating community rules. Step outside now." I didn't move. I already knew who was behind this. Karen was standing across the street with her arms crossed, smiling like she had won something big. She shouted, "Take him. He's dangerous." I kept my voice calm even though my hands were tightening. "Dangerous for what?" I asked. The fake cop smirked, disturbing the peace and refusing HOA inspection. I felt my chest heat up because I hadn't disturbed anything. I had only been fixing my porch lights. But Karen wanted control, and she loved creating drama. She whispered loudly to everyone recording, "He thinks he owns the whole street. Not under my watch." One of the cops grabbed his notepad like he was about to write up some fake violation, but something in me stayed still. I didn't need to shout or fight back. I just stepped a little to the side and said, "If you think I'm the problem, wait." All 3 cops turned their heads when the sound of heavy boots hit the floor behind me. Karen's smile slowly dropped as my wife stepped out, fully in her tactical uniform, badge shining, gun holster tight at her side. She looked at them with a calm face and said, "Who exactly ordered you to harass my husband on his own property?" The cops froze. Karen stopped breathing. And I knew this was just the beginning. My wife stepped down the porch one slow step at a time. And the fake cops didn't even blink. They stood like statues, eyes jumping between her badge and Karen, who was now backing up like she suddenly remembered she had something to do inside. My wife didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. She just said, "Which one of you thinks you have the right to order my husband anywhere?" The tallest one swallowed hard. "Ma'am, we were told he refused HOA cooperation." My wife tilted her head. "By whom?" All 3 looked at Karen, who tried to wave her hands like she had no idea what was happening. "I didn't say that. I only asked for a simple check." He got aggressive. I almost laughed. I had literally said nothing aggressive, but that's how Karen operated. Twist a story, make herself the victim. My wife didn't even look at her. She looked at me. "You okay?" I nodded. But before I could answer, Karen shouted from behind the cops. "He yelled at me. He threatened me. Check your body cam." The shortest cop got nervous and touched his vest. "We don't have body cams." My wife raised her eyebrow. "So, you're pretending to be law enforcement without body cams, without ID, and without authority on private property?" All 3 stepped back at the same time. They knew they were in trouble. And that's when another twist kicked in. My phone buzzed. It was my neighbor, Mr. Collins, whispering, "You need to see this. Karen just posted online that she's getting you evicted today." I slid my phone into my pocket and stared right at Karen. She froze, knowing something slipped. My wife took one step closer to the fake cops and said quietly, "If you leave right now, I won't call the real police." But instead of leaving, the shortest one said something that made my skin crawl. "Ma'am, Karen said she has the right to enter your home." My wife slowly turned her head toward Karen and the whole street went silent. Something big was coming, bigger than any of us expected. My wife took one step toward Karen and the entire street leaned in like they were watching a live bomb about to go off. Karen tried to smile, but her lips were shaking. I only said I might have the right to enter. The HOA contract says. My wife cut her off with a calm voice that somehow felt louder than a shout. "Karen, this is not HOA land. This is my home, my husband's home, and you don't take one step inside without a warrant." Karen's eyes darted around as if searching for support, but even the neighbors recording didn't move. She pointed at the fake cops. "You 3, you can go in. I authorize it." The tallest cop whispered, "Ma'am, we can't enter someone's house." Karen hissed, "You promised you'd help me. You said you'd check everything." I felt my stomach twist. So, they had been working with her before. My wife caught that too. She stepped between me and the fake officers and said, "Let me see your IDs, all of you." The shortest one's hand shook as he pulled out a card. My wife grabbed it, flipped it over, and her eyes narrowed. "This isn't real. This is printed on office paper." The color drained from all their faces. Karen jolted forward, snatching the card back. "He's new, okay? Maybe he hasn't gotten his real badge yet." My wife didn't even bother answering. She turned and whispered to me, "They're not HOA enforcement. They're not hired security. These 3 have no registration at all." A cold shiver ran down my back. If they weren't official, Then what were they? Before I could ask, the shortest cop suddenly blurted. We were told you were dangerous. Karen said your wife wasn't home. She said there was a risk you'd run or hide evidence. My wife's eyes sharpened. Evidence of what? Karen stepped back, face bright red, voice cracking. I didn't say that. They're lying. But then out of nowhere, one of the neighbors yelled, I recorded everything. Karen's head snapped toward them. She looked terrified. And then she did something none of us expected. Something that changed the entire situation. She reached into her bag and pulled out a folded eviction notice with my name on it. A notice she forged herself. My wife stared at it slowly like she couldn't believe the stupidity. Karen, where did you get a sheriff's template for this? Karen didn't answer. She tried to run, and that's when the real twist began. Karen tried to run, but the fake cops panicked and ran with her like they suddenly realized the street wasn't on their side anymore. My wife didn't even chase them. She just pulled out her phone and said calmly, I'm calling the real sheriff now. That one line stopped everyone. The neighbors watching stepped aside like they already knew what was coming next. Within minutes, a real patrol car rolled up, lights flashing. The sheriff stepped out, a man who knew my wife well from training sessions. He walked straight to her and asked, what happened? She handed him the fake eviction notice without saying a word. His face hardened instantly. He turned toward Karen, who was standing behind her porch railing like it could protect her. Ma'am, he said, this is a crime. You impersonated a legal officer and used fake enforcement to enter private property. Karen started shaking her head wildly. No, they told me they were licensed. I didn't know anything. He's lying. She's lying. Everyone is lying except me, but the sheriff already had her cornered. One of the neighbors handed over their phone with the full recording. Karen giving orders. Karen bragging about getting me evicted. Karen calling me dangerous. Karen's face went pale as she saw herself on video. The sheriff signaled the real deputy to step forward, and the street went silent as the cuffs clicked around her wrists. The three fake cops tried to quietly slip away, but the sheriff stopped them too. No one leaves. They froze like they were glued to the road. It turned out they weren't cops at all, just a group Karen paid to scare homeowners. All three were taken in for questioning. I finally let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. My wife turned to me, the tension in her shoulders finally loosening. She brushed dirt off my sleeve and said, you're safe now. She won't come near this house again. As Karen was being put in the back of the patrol car, she yelled, this neighborhood will thank me one day. You'll see. But no one listened. The whole street was done with her. The sheriff walked back to us and said, you know, people think they can control others by fear, but they forget something important. Freedom starts at your own front door. I looked at my wife, standing tall in her uniform, protecting me, protecting our home, protecting everything we built. A warm pride hit my chest. I wrapped my arm around her and said, I didn't marry a hero. I married the whole storm. The neighbors cheered. The patrol car drove away. And for the first time in a long time, the neighborhood felt calm again. No fake cops, no forged papers, no Karen standing on the sidewalk with a phone ready to record drama. Just us, our home, and the quiet truth that some people learn the hard way. You don't mess with someone's land. And you definitely don't mess with someone's wife when she's the real uniform in town. The end. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing HOA stories.